On our Hanging With segment today, we're with one of the bright lights in the WWF developmental system, Steve Bradley. And of course, Steve, you've been in this system about 3 years. Let's back up and find out where Steve Bradley began in professional wrestling.
Well, you're really backing up a long way, Les. I guess if you want to talk about where I first started in wrestling, it would be back in the Boston area. I was about 13 or 14 when I first got the wrestling bug. You know, I first started watching wrestling and really getting really into wrestling. And like I said, I grew up in Boston, so all the matches that went on in Boston were at the Boston Garden, which is now the Fleet Center. So being 13 years old, 14, not having a lot of money, I kind of grew up in a lower middle class family. I used to sneak into the Garden, you know, when I could, catch the matches, you know. So got a little older, 14, 15. Finally, I got the word that somebody was opening up a little independent company in New Hampshire called Ringside Wrestling. And I was only 15 years old, and New Hampshire has a state athletic commission. So knowing that and knowing you had to be 18, I thought to myself, well, you know, I can probably work out a little something. So I called the guy and said, hey, you know, I'm a pro wrestler. I'm 19 years old, and I've been trained by Killer Kowalski, which was all lies. So finally the guy said, you know, he didn't know any better. So he said, yeah, come on down. You know, maybe we could use you. So I showed up being 15 years old and looking 15 years old and being 150 pounds. And the guy said, well, you know, kid, how old are you really? I said, well, I'm 15. So he said, all right, I'll tell you what. You can start putting up the rings for us, you know what I mean? Start helping out a little bit, and, you know, maybe, kid, you put up enough posters, maybe we can give you a match. So I thought to myself, oh, yeah, great, you know, naive, all right, cool. So I worked my butt off, putting up posters, setting up the rings, doing everything for this guy who ran 1-2 shows a month, until finally one day somebody didn't show up. And he said, hey, Bradley, you know, hey, kid, you know, we'll throw you in the ring. You know, maybe you can do something. You can wrestle and have a little match. So I said, you know, oh, yeah, great. I'm a pro wrestler. Never been trained. Never did anything of the sort as far as training.
Let me cut you off right there a minute. A tape that I saw just a few weeks ago, the KWF, the Kids Wrestling Federation. Before you were a wrestler, you were a big-time promoter, right?
A big time. You use that word loosely, don't you? Well, yeah, when I was 13, 14, like I said, when I got the wrestling bug, I built a little ring in my backyard, and we did something similar to backyard wrestling, except what we did was we used to work out little deals with high schools in the area. They let us come in, and we do a little split with them, and me and a bunch of my friends used to put on little shows in the school gyms, like the tape that you saw. Right. But I mean, we weren't trained. We just went in there and did what we saw. Not like backyard wrestling that you see today. No, we didn't use weapons or anything like that. We tried to imitate what we saw on TV, and, you know, it worked out good. It gave me I guess if you want to say, a little bit of an edge when I got into when the guy gave me my first match. I guess it gave me kind of a little edge.
Right. You know, we just mentioned we're running short on time here in this segment. You've been in the WWF developmental system for 3 years. And certainly your talent's come along, and I think you're on the verge of moving up. I know this heavyweight title tournament here in the HWA, you think if you kick up enough dust, make enough noise there, that they got to notice it up in Stanford?
Oh, yeah, well, that's the thing. The heavyweight title tournament's coming up. I'm in that, and just like you said, I'm going to go do my best and win the HWA heavyweight title, because if I do, then there's no more overlooking me. You know, I've been in Memphis, I've been in Puerto Rico, I've been in Louisville, I've been here, I've been in every single territory that the development program has. And I've been successful everywhere. But the HWA title, that's something that they can't overlook. No,
they certainly can't. And, of course, you got a big guy in this first round, Brian Adams.
Yeah, Brian Adams, another guy who's worked all over the world, has tons of experience and a very big height, weight advantage. But, like I said, it's been 3 years. 3 years has been a long time. And I'm here to prove myself, and I'm going to do what I can to win the HWA title.
Hanging with Steve Bradley. That's been it for today.